Have you ever faced a decision that looked perfect from the outside, yet something deep within you resisted it? Everything made sense. The salary was attractive. The opportunity was impressive. The people around you encouraged you to say yes. And still, a quiet discomfort lingered beneath the surface. You couldn't explain it. You couldn't justify it. But you felt it. Perhaps it was a job offer that seemed to fulfill every expectation society had taught you to value. Security, status, recognition, a clear path forward. Yet every time you imagined accepting it, your chest tightened. Your enthusiasm faded. Something inside you hesitated. Or maybe it was a relationship. On paper, they were everything you thought you wanted. Kind, successful, supportive, compatible. Friends admired them. Family approved. Logic presented an endless list of reasons to stay. Yet when you sat alone with your thoughts, a quiet voice whispered that something wasn't right. Your mind argued in favor. Your intuition pulled away. Most people experience this conflict at some point in their lives. The battle between reason and instinct. The tension between what appears correct and what genuinely feels aligned. And more often than not, we are taught to ignore that inner voice. We are told to be practical, to avoid emotional decisions, to choose certainty over uncertainty, to trust only what can be measured and explained. But what if that quiet feeling deserves more attention than we give it? What if intuition is not irrational? What if it represents a form of intelligence that operates beyond conscious thought? Deep down, you may already know the answer to a question you keep postponing. You may already know what direction your life is asking you to take. The challenge is not discovering the truth. The challenge is having the courage to acknowledge it. The human brain is remarkable. The rational mind analyzes information. It compares options. It predicts outcomes. It weighs advantages against disadvantages. It seeks evidence. It searches for certainty. In many ways, it functions like an attorney presenting arguments before a judge. It gathers facts. It builds cases. It strives to protect you from mistakes. This process is valuable. Reason has its place. Critical thinking matters. Careful planning matters. Yet another form of wisdom exists within us. It operates differently. It moves faster. It notices details we fail to consciously recognize. This is what many people refer to as intuition. It does not always announce itself loudly. Often, it arrives quietly, as tension in the stomach, as uneasiness during a conversation, as unexpected clarity about a situation, as peace when considering a particular path. There are moments in life when intuition seems to understand reality before logic catches up. A person senses that a relationship has reached its end long before obvious problems emerge. Someone realizes they have outgrown a career even while succeeding within it. Another feels drawn toward a new direction without possessing enough evidence to justify the leap. These experiences are more common than we admit. Yet because they cannot always be explained logically, they are frequently dismissed. Imagine receiving an offer for a prestigious position, excellent income, strong benefits, professional respect, the kind of opportunity that others celebrate on your behalf. Your family feels proud. Your friends congratulate you. Everything appears ideal. Yet beneath the excitement lies discomfort. You cannot identify a specific reason. Nothing is obviously wrong. Still, something feels misaligned. You ignore it. You convince yourself that uncertainty is normal. You tell yourself that fear accompanies every major transition. Eventually, you accept the offer. Weeks pass. Months pass. You perform well. You fulfill expectations. But internally, you begin to unravel. Not because the environment is toxic. Not because the work lacks value. But because the path itself was never truly yours. The signs were present from the beginning. You sensed them. You simply chose not to listen. Why does this happen? How can the body recognize truths that the conscious mind struggles to articulate? Modern neuroscience offers fascinating insights. Within the digestive system exists a vast network of neurons known as the enteric nervous system. Because of its complexity, researchers often refer to it as the second brain. This system communicates continuously with the brain through intricate pathways. Meanwhile, the subconscious mind processes enormous amounts of information beyond conscious awareness. Microexpressions, behavioral patterns, environmental signals, emotional inconsistencies, subtle details. Your conscious awareness cannot track all of this simultaneously. Yet your subconscious notices. It stores. It compares. It identifies patterns based on previous experiences. Sometimes intuition represents the subconscious presenting its conclusions before the rational mind understands the evidence. That uncomfortable feeling around a particular person may stem from subtle cues your awareness has not yet organized into clear thoughts. That sense of certainty regarding a decision may emerge from countless observations processed beneath conscious attention. Intuition is not magic, nor is it infallible, but neither is rational analysis. Both possess strengths. Both possess limitations. History contains countless examples of individuals who trusted an inner knowing despite external doubt. Consider the innovators who pursued unconventional ideas, the artists who abandoned secure careers, the entrepreneurs who followed visions others could not understand. Many lacked guarantees. Many faced criticism. Their choices appeared irrational, yet something within them insisted that another path existed. They listened, not blindly, but courageously. Still, despite understanding the value of intuition, many people continue to silence it. Fear often plays a significant role. The mind seeks safety. It prefers familiarity. It associates uncertainty with danger. When intuition encourages change, resistance emerges. Questions multiply. What if I fail? What if others judge me? What if I regret this decision? What if I am mistaken? These concerns feel reasonable. Sometimes they are useful, but excessive analysis can become paralysis. Overthinking creates the illusion of productivity while preventing meaningful action. Days become months. Months become years. Conversations remain unfinished. Dreams remain unexplored. Potential remains unrealized. Not because people lack answers, but because they fear acting upon them. Remaining where you are is still a decision. Avoidance carries consequences. Silence communicates. Inaction shapes destiny as surely as action does. The job persists despite increasing dissatisfaction. The aspirations remain locked away beneath responsibilities and excuses. Eventually, comfort transforms into confinement. Of course, not every strong feeling deserves immediate obedience. Distinguishing intuition from impulse is essential. Impulses tend to be intense, urgent, reactive. They demand instant gratification. They often arise from fear, anger, insecurity, or excitement. Intuition feels different. It is quieter, steadier, less dramatic. It persists over time, even after emotions settle, even after reflection occurs. A useful approach involves 3 simple steps. Pause. Feel. Act. First, pause. Resist the urge to react immediately. Create space. Breathe deeply. Allow the noise of external opinions to fade. Second, feel. Explore the origin of the sensation. Ask yourself honest questions. Am I motivated by fear? By pride? By the desire to prove something? Or does this feeling emerge from a place of deeper truth? Third, act. If clarity remains after reflection, honor it. Take a step. It does not need to be enormous. It simply needs to move you toward alignment. True intuition rarely screams. It whispers. It invites rather than forces. It guides rather than pressures. Throughout history, wisdom traditions have acknowledged the importance of inner awareness. Ancient philosophers emphasized self-knowledge. Warriors cultivated instinct through disciplined practice. Meditative traditions encouraged stillness as a pathway toward insight. The language differed. The principles often overlapped. External mastery begins with internal understanding. Even today, high performers across diverse fields describe moments when intuition influenced critical decisions. Athletes recognize opportunities before consciously processing them. Leaders sense shifts within organizations before data confirms their suspicions. Creative individuals follow inspirations they cannot fully explain. Human beings are not purely logical machines. Emotion influences perception. Experience shapes judgment. Instinct contributes information. Reason provides structure. The goal is not choosing one while rejecting the other. Wisdom emerges through integration. Logic asks whether something makes sense. Intuition asks whether something feels true. Together, they offer a more complete perspective. Sometimes the reason people ignore intuition has little to do with uncertainty. Sometimes the message itself feels inconvenient. Ending the relationship means confronting loneliness. Changing careers requires embracing instability. Admitting dissatisfaction challenges carefully constructed identities. Listening becomes difficult because transformation demands sacrifice. Yet truth remains patient. It waits beneath distractions. It waits beneath obligations. It waits beneath the stories we tell ourselves. Eventually, the whispers become impossible to ignore. A conversation you continue postponing. A boundary you need to establish. A dream requesting attention. A chapter asking to close. You may have spent months searching for certainty, waiting for permission, seeking reassurance. But what if the answer has already been present? What if your hesitation reflects awareness rather than confusion? What if you know more than you realize? This does not mean abandoning reason. Research matters. Advice matters. Preparation matters. Yet after gathering information, there comes a moment when only you can decide. No one else inhabits your experience. No one else carries your values. No one else hears the quiet voice within you. Trust develops gradually. Each time you honor your intuition responsibly, confidence strengthens. Each time you dismiss it entirely, disconnection deepens. Learning to listen requires practice. Stillness helps. Reflection helps. Journaling helps. Honest conversations help. The more familiar you become with yourself, the clearer your inner guidance becomes. You stop seeking constant validation from the outside world. You stop assuming that everyone else possesses answers you lack. You begin recognizing your own wisdom, not because you become incapable of mistakes, but because you become willing to learn from them. Life offers no guarantees. Every path contains uncertainty. Every decision involves risk. Waiting for perfect certainty often means waiting forever. At some point, faith becomes necessary. Faith in your resilience. Faith in your capacity to adapt. Faith in the possibility that the life meant for you may exist beyond familiar boundaries. So think carefully about the choice you have been avoiding. What would happen if you listened honestly? What truth continues returning despite repeated attempts to silence it? What direction repeatedly captures your attention? Perhaps the next step is smaller than you imagine. Making a phone call, submitting an application, speaking difficult words, setting a boundary, beginning a project, seeking support. One action, one movement, one decision aligned with what you already know. Because every time you choose authenticity over avoidance, something shifts within you. Your confidence grows. Your clarity strengthens. Your relationship with yourself deepens. Eventually, you stop asking everyone else what you should do. You develop trust in your own judgment. You understand that wisdom does not belong exclusively to logic or intuition. It emerges through their partnership. Your mind is powerful. Its ability to analyze is extraordinary. But your intuition carries insights shaped by experience, perception, and awareness beyond conscious recognition. Neither should dominate completely. Both deserve respect. Perhaps the greatest skill we can develop is learning when to think deeply and when to listen quietly. Learning when to calculate and when to trust. Learning when caution protects us and when fear disguises itself as practicality. The answers we seek are not always hidden. Sometimes they have been speaking softly all along, waiting patiently, inviting us to pay attention, inviting us to remember who we are, inviting us to move toward lives that genuinely reflect our values. The next chapter of your life may begin with a single decision, a decision that others may not fully understand, a decision that cannot be justified through spreadsheets and statistics alone, a decision rooted in alignment. So before this moment passes, ask yourself one final question. What would you choose if fear no longer had the loudest voice? Sit with that answer. Respect it. Explore it. And if it continues returning to you with quiet certainty, perhaps it is time to trust it. Your mind may be intelligent, but your deepest wisdom often speaks in whispers. Learn to hear it. And when the moment arrives, have the courage to follow where it leads.